Warriors, come out to play! Warriors, come out to play! Yeah, it's like that.
Uh-oh. Tari Eason. Yikers, buddy. Absolutely yikers. That was a big win. Not expecting that one. I expected a Warriors win, to be honest. I didn't think they were going to go into Houston and lose. I thought it would be a very tough game, back and forth. A lot of defense being played, a lot of shot for shot going on. That did not happen. That did not happen. This was a very one-sided performance for the Warriors, winning here in Houston, 133-110. Again, no Alperen Sengun for the Rockets. They've been incredible without him. And the Warriors, no Jonathan Kuminga. They are now 6-0 without him. So both teams here missing pretty key players and yet playing really great basketball. Now the Rockets are now on a 3-game losing streak, I'm pretty sure, after losing tonight. But the Warriors just took it to them. I mean, completely took it to them. Now let's not forget, I'm going to play the Tari Eason clip at the beginning so you guys can get a laugh out of that. That was not what Tari Eason was expecting when he was trying to talk shit to Draymond Green, I'll tell you that much. Now, again, I think Tari's hurt, so can't really do anything about that, but, you know, talking shit from the sideline is a little tough to do, not gonna lie. Obviously, I'm sitting here doing it, but I'm not a player, so I'm gonna talk my shit, because why not? But the Warriors smacked the dog shit out of the Houston Rockets, 133-110. No surprise, the Warriors own this team. It's, you know, at this point, with or without James Harden, the Warriors just own them. I'm going to be honest, though. This was a very weird game. The Warriors had 18 turnovers and won by 23 points. Now, if we go back 5, 6, 7 years, that sounds about right. Turn it over 15 to 20 times, still blow out the opponent because you have so much offensive firepower and efficiency, and you play really good defense. However, the last 4 or 5 years, that has not been the case. Since the KD era with the Warriors had ended, the Warriors have not been able to really have these kinds of games where they play really poor, they execute very poorly as far as playmaking goes, and then somehow still just shoot so well and hit you from so many places and defend so well that they end up blowing you out. You know, that hasn't been the case. Typically, the Warriors in the last 3-4 years, they turn it over 18 times. They're getting smacked by 20. You know, not to mention, of course, the Western Conference and the league in general has just gotten more and more competitive. So the ability for the Warriors to win while making that many mistakes has just completely lessened more and more each season as each season goes along. So to see this was kind of like a jolt of energy, like, whoa, that's been a minute. And we're going to talk about how that happened, but let's start off with Steph and Klay because they're the reason this game was the way it was. Splash Bros of old, maybe. It was a little better than the Splash Bros of old, I'm not going to lie. Steph and Klay combined for 58 points on 20 of 29 shooting. Both of them finished the game with 29 points. It was an absurd performance from the both of them. Insanely efficient all over the place. The funny thing is, too, 29 points for Steph. He only made 2 threes. Steph got to the line 9 times, which, if you're a Warriors fan, you know how rare that is. So you got 9 of 9 from the free throw line from Steph, but he was just killing him in the paint. I mean, the Rockets have been a very good team, scoring in the paint and getting to the free throw line since Sengun left and since this team has really been on their streak here. But the Warriors won the paint points battle, and Steph was a big reason for that. Getting to the rim so much, breaking down defenses, and just taking what was given to him. And then Klay was just dominant in that first half. And I said Steph and Klay won the game because they did, But I think Klay in particular is kind of the reason the Warriors never lost a lead once, which, again, rare in this era of Warriors basketball. In that first half, Klay Thompson scored 21 points and just torched, and I mean torched, the Rockets. In that first half, the Warriors had 15 turnovers. 15 of them. Okay? And Klay Thompson and Chris Paul in that first quarter, they combined for a nice little 17 points. And you may be thinking that's not too much. 11 points for Klay Thompson, that's a hot start. Chris Paul giving you 6, that's pretty cool. The difference is they finished that quarter, despite those 8 first quarter turnovers, they finished with a 33 to 24 lead. They still 30-balled the Rockets despite 8 turnovers. Again, past years, okay, this is kind of normal. This is Warriors basketball. It's ugly but beautiful. It's the beautiful chaos kind of thing. Now, 8 turnovers in the first quarter. Most times, GG's. GG's, the Warriors lost. Can't do anything about it. Too big of a deficit to overcome. Tons of transition scoring against the Warriors, who aren't playing great defense. It's typically been an absolute flip of what we just saw tonight. But those first quarter points from Chris Paul and Klay Thompson, that's 17, that was so big because at the end of the quarter, you're like, God, we played horrible. Wait a minute. We're leading by 9. And we held Houston under 25 points. Again, Houston's been incredible. They've been incredible offensively. Jalen Green leading the way. They've just been great. So you're not playing some bum team. It's not the Blazers, It's not, I don't know, who can we pick on here? It's not Detroit or Washington. They've been playing a very good team. And they killed them. They killed them while shooting themselves in the foot. So I'm pretty shocked at that. Wasn't expecting it, but Chris Paul, like I said in the last video, is peaking at the right time, man. Chris Paul is just, his scoring has been so big. It comes in bursts. It hasn't been as consistent throughout the game, but it comes in bursts, and when he does score, it's at the perfect time. It's at the perfect time. Late third quarter, late first quarter. The Warriors are just looking for anything to keep things rolling, and Chris Paul comes in and saves the day. And he did it again. And Klay Thompson, again, the efficiency was just absurd. He finished the game. Let me get to it real quick. Klay finished the game 11 of 15 from the field, 7 of 11 from 3. Just incredible. The efficiency was absurd. And I already talked about Steph. Again, Steph, 9 of 14 from the field, but he was 2 of 6 from 3. Most of his scoring was done inside, And again, he went the first half, I think, without shooting many free throws. Maybe only 2 free throws, I think. He was just killing it in the paint. So, hell of a game efficiency-wise, finishing this one off, shooting 58.8% from the field, 48.6% from 3, and 88% from the line. You turned it over 18 times, but you shot the lights out. You picked the Rockets defense apart, and you clamped them. I mean, wow. Just shocked at that. It's been a long time since I've seen a Warriors game pan out quite like this. And the rebounding was even more incredible. You held this Rockets team to 29 total rebounds. Now, again, the Warriors were shooting extremely efficiently, so the defensive rebounds for the Rockets, we're not going to come at the rate that they probably would have on most nights against the Warriors. But you still, as always, the Warriors are one of, if not the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They still snagged 12 offensive boards. So, battling, the energy was palpable tonight. From tip-off to the end of the game, even when the bench warmers were in, when Quinones and Jerome Robinson were playing, they were still killing it. Still killing it. So, I was very, very happy with this performance. And the defense was incredible all game. Now, again, I've talked about Jalen Green. In this stretch of great basketball for the Houston Rockets, Jalen Green has been averaging 27 points on 20 field goal attempts, shooting 48% from the field. very good. He's been one of the top 5, 6 scorers in that time frame, which is about 15 games. Very, very good. Very, very good. Good. In this one, the Warriors held Jalen Green to 13 points, okay? But what's even more incredible to me is the fact that they held him to 12 shot attempts, and 8 of them were threes. He made 4 shots of 12. 8 of those shots were threes. 3 of his makes were from 3. So he only broke the paint in this game 4 times and only made 1 shot in the paint. Jalen Green was held off of 8 shots from his average, and then you didn't even let him break the paint. And obviously, if you've ever watched Jalen Green, if you know who Jalen Green is, that dude's athleticism is second to none. He's one of the top 3 athletes in this league. In my opinion, that's not arguable. Like Anthony Edwards, him, Giannis, and then you start saying Kuminga, LeBron, all of them, right? I think Jalen Green's just an absolute monster in transition. Really tough to stop. But the Warriors just did a number on him. But there was a give and a take. And the give was Jabari Smith Jr. Now, the Warriors have had struggles all season long dealing with skilled big men. No matter what team you look at, anytime they play a power forward or a center that has just a relatively skilled 4 or 5, the Warriors almost always struggle. You see it against Jaren. You see it against Victor. Now, Victor's obviously a 1-of-1. But in general, these skilled 4s and 5s, even Bam was really good against the Warriors. Like, they just don't really have an answer. Anytime a center or forward is able to pop, they don't really know what to do. And Jabari Smith, in that second quarter in particular, was kind of the reason the Rockets stayed alive. In that second quarter, Jabari Smith kept them alive with 14 of his 24 points. I think he was 6 of 9 from the field. He was just dominating. That pick and pop was killing the Warriors. They had no answer to it. Every time he went out, the Warriors sent 2 in to try and stop the potential roll, and he just went right out. Went right out and shot. He made 4 threes in this game, and he was 4 of 10, but he made 2 threes in that second quarter, and again, just kept the Rockets in it a little bit. And again, because the Warriors had 13 first half turnovers in this game, it was looking a little rocky, like, the Rockets are in it. You're not playing particularly well as far as IQ goes. And then someone like Jabari Smith is lighting you up, and you don't really know what to do against it. And Jalen Green hasn't gotten going yet. But aside from Jabari, who finished the game with 24 points again after that 14 in the second quarter, didn't do too much more for the rest of the game. I think he hit a corner 3 and then got a layup or 2 inside. But the Warriors just did a very good job the entire game of playing consistent defense. Jabari kind of hit him a little bit, but for the most part, they locked everyone down. Cam Whitmore was doing a little bit for the Rockets in that second half. He gave you 17 points total, but still, I think the Warriors just defended incredibly. Played very well. I didn't expect the Warriors to come in and play with more energy and more tenacity than the Rockets, who called the Warriors out. It was Tari Eason, who's not playing, so maybe the Rockets were like, bro, what are you doing? Don't do that, But regardless, I was just shocked by the performance tonight. Again, and Kuminga was supposed to play. So they were expecting Kuminga. Kuminga doesn't suit up. He's one of your younger players to lean on. And then your vets are the ones who came in for the most part and really just, won this game for you. So very, very surprised. Happy surprised. That was the kind of energy you want to see from the Warriors, who now go play the Mavericks in Dallas tomorrow. So that's going to be another big game. Again, like I said in the last video, Luka, Kyrie, probably going to be looking for revenge. It is a back-to-back, but Kuminga is supposed to be back tomorrow. So hopefully that's a punch that you can get from them. But last but not least, I want to talk about Trayce. Trayce Jackson-Davis, congratulations. He had his first 20-point game of his entire career. 20 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, a steal, and a block. 8 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. He was really good, but in particular, in that second half, 13 points, he tore the Rockets apart. Him and Chris Paul tore the Rockets apart. In particular, there was a pass from Chris Paul. In the first half, Chris Paul was getting caught up in the air a couple times. Houston was doing a great job at staying with Chris Paul, and they were doing a good job at also shutting off the roll, so they didn't really have much. But in one of them, Jock Landale came up just a little bit too much, and Chris Paul goes up for the shot and just slams the ball down, bounces in between it with some Harlem Globetrotter shit, right to Trayce, dunk, and that was just kind of the recipe for the rest of the game. Trayce was incredible in that second half, and like I said, completely tore up the Rockets for 13 points, but he's just been unbelievable all game, or all season long, and the more and more he plays, you see how strong this guy makes this team, you know? I know Kuminga's gone, and I'm ready for him to come back. It's still a punch offensively. I hope coming off the bench. I do not think Jonathan Kuminga should be starting anymore. I think Andrew Wiggins is playing better basketball on both ends of the floor. He shoots the ball better, so he's better for spacing. And defensively, he's just far superior. And then Trayce is giving you vertical spacing, which Jonathan really isn't. And on top of that, Trayce, I think, is just a better overall player than Kuminga, even at this point. So personally, I'd prefer Kuminga coming off the bench as of right now. I like the starting five they've got. They're playing great basketball. They're really putting things together. Defensively, they're holding strong. Offensively, they've got chemistry. I love what I see. Moses Moody continues to play well coming off the bench. Gary's been playing great basketball, especially offensively. Pods does his the team just looks great right now. They look great. And they're, again, peaking at the right time. At the right time. I don't know what, the ceiling for how this goes, but I'll tell you, man, if you can defend, if you can hold your opponent to 42% shooting from the field and 36% from three, and then just take care of the ball a little bit and shoot relatively efficiently, that's a little bit of a problem. That's going to be a little bit of a problem for other teams to deal with. But again, as I've said many times, my only concern and my only reason this entire season that I've been worried about this Warriors team is just dealing with skilled big men. Dealing with skilled big men. Jabari Smith is a solid young player, but Anthony Davis is a different beast. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. Chet Holmgren's he's a different animal, right? He's in that Wembanyama tier of just, okay, he's too big to be doing what he's doing, right? There's too many super skilled 4s and 5s in this league, and the Warriors just don't have much of a counter to that, especially if they're just not cutting it offensively. You need Steph to be efficient. You need Klay to be efficient. You need Wiggins to be efficient. You need all of them to be aggressive. You need scoring off the bench. You need to be able to protect the rim, at least against the the non-bigs, right? And so Trayce is going to have a lot on his plate. Draymond's going to have a lot on his plate. It's going to be a real test for these Warriors coming into the playoffs, because there is not going to be an easy matchup anywhere. It just isn't. And the Kings are slipping right now. Malik Monk, unfortunately, is going to be out with an MCL. I'm pretty sure it's an MCL injury, so he might not be back for the playoffs, which means the Kings are going to slip a little bit, as they are already. That's still a tough matchup that you probably don't want to face in the play-in. Sabonis is not fun to guard. De'Aaron Fox always causes problems against the Warriors, right? It's a tough matchup. You still got the Suns in the play-in, and then you got the Lakers. So play-in, playoffs, it's just going to be tough basketball ahead for the Warriors no matter what. But right now, they're winning games that they should be winning, and they're winning handedly, and they're just playing good basketball overall. It's just those turnovers, those first half turnovers, got to cut them down a little bit. So, a game like this, which you still won by 23, you probably could have won by 40. Just saying. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Warriors, Rockets fans, everyone in between. And I will see you guys after that Mavericks game. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.